ready to rock and roll.
All right.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Sharice Jervis-Hill here, CEO and founder of Events to Remember and PR to Remember, with our Coffee with Cher podcast series, where we interview entrepreneurs doing really, really fun, good stuff. So today I have Miss Robin Simmons. She is the president of the Culture Collection. I can't wait to get into this, Robin. Uh, so, Robin, welcome to Coffee with Cher. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, Cher. I am fine. I'm excited to be here.
I'm happy to have
Yeah.
you here. So, Robin, our afternoon cheers. Cheers and
Ah,
up to you.
absolutely. Cheers,
Cheers,
Cher.
cheers, cheers.
And this is actually my first morning cheer. Usually the first one is about 6:30 or 7 o'clock a.m., but I didn't want to be wired. So because it's true coffee.
So this is my second cup already, and so I might be a little wired, Robin, but we'll get through it. So, all right. So, Robin, thank you for being here. Happy to chat with you. So, tell me a little bit about your journey. Tell me a little bit about how you got started. How did the Culture Collection become a thing? So, talk to us.
Oh, sure, sure. Well, Cheryl, all of my life I've been creative. Um, I was actually inspired by an old comic strip, Winnie Winkle, who was a fashion designer. So since I was a little girl, I would say at about 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like I was being driven towards the creative industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it shook my mom and dad a bit because my brother and sister were headed for what was considered conventional and real industries. And I was always told, okay, that's great. You're an artist. Wow, you're very creative, but what are you going to do to make money?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said, I'm going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, I realized if I'm passionate about it enough, I will find a way to make it my livelihood. And
Mm-hmm.
I did. So after the High School of Music and Art, after graphic design school, I became a graphic artist. But
Mm-hmm.
still being on staff was like not enough. I've never I've never been one to go after the status quo. Everybody wore big bamboo earrings, at least two pair. I
Mm-hmm.
was making my own earrings. I was making my own jewelry because I did not want to look like everybody. I was
Mm.
sewing my own clothes because a group of us at school were, it would be Jackie O Day. So we
Mm-hmm.
would be in pearls and pillbox hats and gloves, but it was encouraged, in my high school and throughout college. It was good to be different,
Yeah.
dare to be different. And
Mm-hmm.
that has become so much a part of my line, whether it's the crochet part or whether it's jewelry, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, the Culture Collection, actually, I'm very honest with the beginnings. I wanted to create a line of cards, greeting cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to do the first set in black and white because I couldn't afford a color line. Now we're talking the 80s.
Okay.
Okay, when film was, you're still rocking and rolling with black and white. It costs more to develop color than
Yeah.
it did black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to run a color line of cards to give the cards more depth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming up with a line of Kwanzaa cards.
Mm.
So I decided, there were many friends that I would make jewelry for and give it to them as gifts. And then their friends would want the jewelry. And I would say, okay, now they have to buy the beads or I'm going to charge a little. So I did a little street fair
Mm-hmm.
and I had about 2 dozen pair of earrings.
Mm-hmm.
I sold them. I
Mm-hmm.
had the money to do the color run. And this is old offset printing we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then when I packaged up, I ran those cards and the different Kwanzaa designs, and I tied the ribbon around it, put them in the silk organza bag, went out to the next show. I had like 10 sets. I
Mm-hmm.
sold maybe 2 or 3 sets of cards.
Yeah.
All the jewelry sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, the culture collection became a line of semi-precious stones, glass, and ceramic jewelry, seasonally adding, African print covered photo albums and things,
Yeah.
crochet. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the beginning. It was about 1992. Um, and I was looking for a way to create another part of who I was. I
Mm-hmm.
was going through a separation and divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and the culture collection, how it grew. It grew out of my need to do something for me and create another line of income, another stream of income to what I was doing. Although I was already in graphics, but being on staff, you're tied
Yeah.
to what the company wants. And at
Mm-hmm.
that point, it was anything that I create and produce for the company belongs to the company, you
Yeah.
know? And so I've always, all my life, needed to do something for myself,
Mm-hmm.
create something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always important to me. So through my years, I've always run the culture collection. It's seasonal. Sometimes it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm just in production mode, and other times, as it comes spring and summer, I'm in show mode.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've retired and went to a second career in the Department of Education,
Mm-hmm.
still using my creative talents, creating crochet groups at lunchtime for the students and the staff,
Oh.
creating crochet groups in the evening and Saturdays, having to work on Saturdays, being in the Department of Education, for
Mm-hmm.
parents, teaching them that if you get good at this, you can use this to give gifts, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to sell pieces. And that's always been a major part of what the collection is.
I mean, so thank you for sharing your journey, Robin. I kind of just was like taking notes as you were talking.
Mhm.
Love the hoops analogy. I definitely was a hoop girl, still a hoop girl,
Yes.
but um
Big hoops, absolutely. Those
yes.
bamboo earrings and
Yes, yes, yes. I didn't wear two pair, but I definitely was a bamboo hoop. And I love the fact that you talked about sewing. My mother, my grandmother, like that was big in my family. And now that they both are no longer here, that's one of my regrets that I never like took the time to learn that talent because they both created amazing pieces. And now,
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know how to sew. So that's something that's on my list. So I love that
Mhm.
you kind of talked about that. um, I love that you talked about kind of being an employee and making kind of that shift. Now you're retired. Now you can really work on this kind of full time. Um, I love that you talked about too how you started with the cards, you went to the fairs. It was kind of like your own market research, right? And
Yes.
then you kind of saw like the cards are selling but not really, like this is what people are really wanting, and that you listen and that you embrace that, because I feel like in business that is a big thing, like really that market research, listening to what your customers want. So that I thought was great as well. And then just kind of the fact that you pivoted, like you listened to that and you've kind of made those adjustments. So thank you for sharing that journey. That really is, it's kind of like a full circle moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think, Robin, for the culture collection? Like what sets the culture collection apart from other lines? What
Uh,
makes you guys different?
Wow, that's a great question, especially because of the pieces that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you go to a street fair, when you walk into a store,
Mm-hmm.
the first floor of a store is usually the jewelry. A
Mm-hmm.
street fair, there could be 50 vendors, and out of the 50 vendors, half of them could be jewelry makers.
Yeah.
The beauty of, I feel there's enough space in the world for everyone's
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
And what I find is what sets me apart is I theme my jewelry and even my crochet. I'm inspired by nature, Cheryl. I'm
Charisse.
inspired by, I'm sorry, Cherise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired by what I see: architecture, a
Mm.
sunset, sometimes a string of cars and the different colors, the storm, the snowstorm.
Mhm.
translate into crystal quartz, jasper, agate. A sunset can transfer to me in my eyes and my mind's eye
Mhm.
into carnelian and
Mm.
citron, with turquoise. I
Mm.
see, I find that I see colors differently, and I
Mhm.
love to juxtapose texture, color, shape in things. And I find that there are times when I'm at a show and people will come down the street.
Mhm.
I do a City Island show twice a year, and
Mhm.
my space is at the bottom of the first block.
Mhm.
And the show goes on for about 8 blocks.
Oh
And
wow.
people say, "Oh, I just got here." And I say, "Listen, that is fine. There is so much to see. Walk around, get a wonderful meal, and if you see what you like here, it'll be here. Pick it up
Mhm.
today, though, because I tend to be a one of a kind of person. There's always a
Mhm.
little touch of something different on each piece.
Mhm.
I absolutely love when a customer, well, I'm going to say a person,
Mhm.
will return a half an hour or an hour later, and they will tell me, "Yeah, you were right. There's a lot of jewelry out here,
But
but
not like this, right?
there's something about your pieces."
I
And
love
I
that.
try to work price points for many people's ranges.
Mhm.
People say to me, "What's your target audience?" And when I say literally 8 to 80, a lot of the times I know in marketing you go, "No, no, no, your target audience has to be smaller."
Mhm.
It's really not.
Wow.
Children in strollers point, "Looky, we all
Uh-huh.
love shiny things."
Yeah. Yeah.
I really try to work in ways, of course, I'm creating what I like,
Mhm.
but I do definitely, it's important to go into the stores. People say, "Oh, you shop a lot."
Mhm.
I'm not coming out with bags of things. I'm looking to see, what are the necklines like?
Yeah.
What are the hairstyles coming out?
Mhm.
When hairstyles go shorter, my earrings get bigger.
Mhm.
Kind of like Michelle, when you go low, we go high. You know,
Yeah.
necklines plunge. It allows me to work with a Y necklace or longer or opera
Mhm.
length.
Yeah.
So I do pay attention to trends.
Mhm. You
I
have to,
pay,
I feel like in your
yes,
industry,
I
right?
pay attention to trends, but my pieces are not trendy.
D.
My
Yeah.
I like my pieces to be versatile. I love for my customers to return
Mhm.
and to build upon their new accessory wardrobe. I want people to understand that when you purchase the Culture Collection, you're creating a new personal style, and style is so much more important. Creating a style, your signature, is
Mhm.
so much more important than following fashion trends, because you will lose so much money.
Oh my gosh. And they change, and they change. Fashion, if you really follow the
In an
trends,
instant.
they really do change. So it
Yes.
sounds like your pieces are more, you do build in the trendy, but to a certain point, it's more of a classical, something that you
Yes.
can kind of keep over time and treasure over time. That's what it sounds
Yes.
like.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, Robin, is there anything new and exciting happening at the Culture Collection? Anything special that you want to share with our Coffee with Cher listeners?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because I have more time to work, as being retired,
Mm-hmm.
I so much of what I do, I feel that it's not enough for the Culture Collection to just sell jewelry. I feel that even as an entrepreneur and in every business, you should find a way to give back.
Of
It's
course.
so important.
Mm-hmm.
Being blessed to do something,
Yeah.
I feel a need to bless others.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to want to always do something that will help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've begun to find places. A friend of mine is the membership director at a new YMCA down in the Bronx. And
Uh-huh.
I've begun to do a series of workshops with the YMCA. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just got involved with a nonprofit organization, Girls Inc., and did a
Mm-hmm.
crochet workshop.
I
And
love
it
that.
was so exciting. And I told them, any break, because we did this over their midwinter break, any
Mm-hmm.
break, anytime you want me to come back, I would love to work with the girls like that,
I
just
love that.
helping people. So much of building a new community
Mm-hmm.
of followers and the new community that I can follow,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to network more with
Mm-hmm.
people that are like-minded and makers as I am. I wasn't able to do that when I was working full time,
Yeah.
you
And the
know?
makers community is just, especially in the Westchester County
Absolutely.
area. And Melissa, I believe Melissa is the one who connected us, right?
Yes, she did.
She's
Melissa
so
Francis
amazing. I
Lee.
love Melissa
Love her.
and the work that she does.
Hmm.
So, there's definitely an important place for makers. So
Yes.
I'm so glad that you're doing this and really that you're giving back. I think it's so important for us as entrepreneurs to definitely find a way to give back to the
Hmm.
community. You're giving back
Hmm.
through sharing your love and your experience with the next generation. So I think that's so important.
Yes. Joining Melissa, actually, I want to just give a little shout out to her. Joining Melissa, since I've moved to Westchester, I've been in Westchester for to be 4 years
Okay.
this month.
Hmm.
And I had done some research. I used to do quite a few shows in Westchester.
Hmm.
And when I came here and I met a group of artisans, and Melissa was very instrumental in her work with the New Rochelle Holiday show at the train
Yep.
station. That's
Hmm.
as I met her there. And I've begun to see how she moves and get involved in things she's involved in. It's really like piqued my interest for groups that I can find here in Westchester,
Hmm.
as well as the work that I've done in the Bronx.
Yeah.
It's important for people to see the face,
Yes.
especially as a small business. We
Hmm.
have that ability.
Yeah.
A larger corporation, you're just going to buy it. You're buying the brand name. But
Hmm.
how important is it for people to see the face
Yeah.
of the culture collection and
Yeah.
to know that I don't just want your money, you
Hmm.
know, I want to get involved with things. So Melissa was very instrumental in helping me get involved with the Girls Inc. project. And I hope that's something that will grow.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we are coming up to my favorite question, as everybody
Mhm.
knows. So the Coffee with Cher podcast is really kind of a place where we want to empower our fellow entrepreneurs. And
Mhm.
for those of you that are not following, make sure that you subscribe, Coffee with Cher, Spotify, Apple Music, every place that you listen to your podcast. And all of the episodes are also all uploaded on YouTube. So make sure that you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coffee with Cher. Just for the nuggets that are shared, this last question. I mean, the nuggets that are shared are just like unbelievable. So, Robin, what nugget are you going to share? Share some advice. It could be for a new entrepreneur, someone just starting
Mhm.
out, or maybe it's someone who's been in business for a while. Maybe they're hitting a rough patch. Just any advice that you would like to share just based on your journey and share
Oh,
anything you want to
oh, that's
share.
great. That's great. Well, the first thing I would like to say is just being someone that's just run this small business from my home.
Hmm.
Um, just don't give up. So many times, excuse me, people have a love, you have a hobby, and you don't hone in on that hobby. You can become miserable, you know. Create the things that you love to create. There are so many ways, especially with social media. Take a class
Yeah.
do a meetup, take a class, just go onto YouTube and hone in, because it is so important, even if you're working a full-time job, to have something that gives you joy.
Hmm.
As far as someone that's starting out, we all know that it's said that it takes at least 2 years to grow a small business, and many times people give up. Um, but whatever it is you're going to do, really put your mindset to it. Do something for your business every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day, whether it's ordering something, whether it's learning a new skill, whether it's learning how to use your phone better, whether it's actually being in production. Make the time
Hmm.
to put towards your business. Don't give up. If
Yeah.
you're passionate enough about something, everything else will come in its time.
Yeah. Great advice. Thank you for sharing. And that's really, it's so true. Don't give up. And also, too, like every day, it could be something small, right? We all need kind of a disconnect day, but maybe it's
Mhm.
a disconnect day. Maybe it's flipping through your favorite magazine or paper, and you'll get some inspiration that way.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely great advice. So,
Yes.
Robin, where can everybody find you? Let's take a little time, tell us
Mhm.
your socials or website. Where can everybody find you, Robin?
Okay. You can find the most posting and the best posting and the most recent right on Instagram at style.reborn. My
Okay.
tagline being adorned with style reborn. So style@style.reborn.
Okay.
And then I will usually send things and create things on Facebook as
Okay.
well. And the Culture Collection page is Go to Collections at Go to Collection on Facebook.
Collection or collections with an S?
Collection,
With an S.
singular,
Oh, singular.
singular.
Okay.
Mhm.
Collection. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
I
Perfect.
am actually in the process of restarting my Etsy page as well,
Okay.
just before I begin to rebuild a website for the Culture Collection. So within the next week or so, you'll begin to see more listings in Etsy because I've been back in production mode and I always like to have people see what's coming.
Yeah.
What would be a drop on social media as I begin to get prepared for my spring shows.
Awesome. All right. So
Mhm.
style.reborn on Instagram and
Yes.
go to collection on Facebook.
Yes.
All
Mhm.
right. So, Robin, this was such a pleasure to kind of be here and to chat with you. Thank
Yes.
you for
Mine
sharing your
too.
business. Thank you for the nugget. And thank you for being here.
Oh, you are so welcome, Cher. Thank you. This was lovely.
Had a great time. All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okie dokie. Bye bye.